G'day, welcome back to the channel, and if you're here for the very first time, welcome. No messing about with this one, we're going to get straight into it. I need to keep it as short as possible. There's a lot to cover on this. So this is a gentleman called Shane Kemple from Utah. He, going through his video, it looks like he was stopped for driving while privileges suspended, no proof of insurance and no registration. So that's your pretty stock standard sovereign citizen traffic stop. Obviously he was suspended, no rego, no insurance. So he was charged and was taken to court. Now, he's obviously got a friend to do a audio recording, capturing the judge quite clearly. His words are not so clear. So what I'm going to do with this video is read out what he said, and then I'll play the clip with the judge's response, read what he said, or what I think he said. There are a couple of words that aren't very clear, but I think we can get the gist. The purpose of this video is that the title of his video is Right to Travel in Utah Court. Bear with me. Right to Travel in Utah Court. I get the judge to admit they are a business. When you listen to how she explains the judicial system, you'll understand that it is not a business. All right, so we'll crack on. So his opening words are, well, also, am I not in the wrong court? Because you work for Salt Lake City Corporation, she works for Salt Lake City Corporation, and the police department works for Salt Lake City Corporation. How would I ever proceed to get a proper trial in my defense in this courtroom?
The injury is a requirement of the charge, sir.
Well, also, am I not in the wrong court because you work for Salt Lake City Corporation, she works for Salt Lake City Corporation, and the police department works for Salt Lake City Corporation? How would I ever proceed to get a proper trial in my defense in this courtroom?
Well, sir, all courts are government courts. So
I understand.
in the federal court system, the federal prosecutor works for the federal government, the Supreme Court works for the federal government, but they are separate branches of government. She's part of the executive branch of government. As you remember from high school civics, the branches of government work as a check and balance against each other. So she works for the executive branch, I work for the judicial area of government. So all courts work for a level of government, but I act as a check and balance against the other.
Are you a judge or, can't hear that word, I think he says magistrate, not 100% sure.
Branches of government. I'm sorry?
Are you performing as a judge or, again, can't quite hear that word.
Performing as a judge or my...
I am a judge, that's correct. My function is as part of a judicial function.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to ask questions. I just want to know where I stand.
Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to ask questions. I just want to know
So
where I
if you
stand.
wish to maintain your innocence, that's fine. We'll set the matter for trial. Are there any motions from either party?
Yes, Your Honor, the city is moving to amend count 2 from no insurance to no proof of insurance.
I need to enter some motions.
I entered in some motions.
Hang on, let me finish, sir. Now, at that trial, you don't have to present any evidence if you don't want to, because it's not your burden to try to convince me you're innocent. It's their burden to try to convince me you're guilty. But if you do wish, if you choose to present evidence, you'll get that opportunity. but make sure you have all witnesses and evidence with you on that day. For instance, if you tell me on that day, well, I have a witness, but they're not here, obviously I can't hear from that witness. So if you have any witnesses that you do wish to call, make sure they're here with you on that day. If you think your witnesses won't come voluntarily just because you asked them to, you can stop downstairs and see a clerk and they can assist you in issuing a subpoena. That would be a court order telling your witness to come to court on that day. You can testify if you choose to, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And if you have any physical evidence that you do wish to present, such as documents, photographs, video, or anything like that, make sure you bring it with you on that day.
Okay,
Be advised that if you're not here on that day, we can try you in your absence. And if you want to see a copy of the city's file, on traffic cases, they usually don't have much, but whatever they do have, they would be required to provide you. If you do want a copy of the file, you can check with the prosecutor, Ms. Pearson. She'll tell you how to formally file that request. And then they would send you basically a copy of their file. Go ahead. So did you have any questions about the information I just gave you?
Yeah, before we proceed to that, I just got like questions. What law am I even gonna be, again, sounds like tried under? Common law, or he says something possibly traffic law.
Yeah, before we proceed to that, I just got the question, what kind of law am I even going to be tried in? Common law or tribunal?
No, this is the Utah Code.
Well, okay, Utah Code recognises the common law of England, so that judge shuts him down.
Well, okay, Utah Code recognizes the common law of England, so
Wrong.
that would be
No,
what
Utah Code has
I can show
codified
you.
some of the common law of England.
well,
They have chosen to adopt some of the common law of England and incorporated it into statutes, into Utah law.
It does say that they do respect the common law of England right in our statutes. I can bring that in.
it does say that they do respect common law of England right in our statutes. I can bring that if you, I can bring that.
Well, I'm
if you
familiar
like.
with the statute, sir.
Okay.
So then, what am I going to be tried under?
So then what am I going to be tried under? Statutes?
Well, I'll tell you,
The
we'll provide you a copy of the information. And in one charge, you're being charged under Utah Code 41-1A-1303, and one charge you're being charged under Utah Code 53-3227, and what was the third one, because you amended it?
4112A 303.2.
It's
4112A 303.
it's weirdly, okay.
Those are the three statutes. There's three charges in this case, and those are the three statutes Salt Lake City has charged you under.
Okay, I would like a trial by jury then. Now, in the video of the two Sovtsits, we've already discussed that a trial by jury can only be requested or held if there is going to be imprisonment. These are traffic infractions. There is absolutely no chance, zero chance of imprisonment, and the judge explains that.
Okay, I would like a trial by jury then.
They're infractions, and so under
But there's, under the Constitution, word I can't make out, if there's a suit of over $20, I'm allowed to have a trial by jury, and I would like to invoke that.
But there's, under the Constitution, it grants if there's a suit over $20, I'm allowed to have a trial by jury, and I would like to revoke that.
Sir, you're not entitled to a trial by jury on an infraction because your liberty is not at stake.
But it's over $20.
Sir,
Okay.
you can read all of the case law that's discussed that issue and all of the case law that has addressed that and interpreted the Constitution.
Why would it not be removed from the Constitution if it was not legal?
Why would they not just remove it from the Constitution?
I'm sorry?
Why would it not be removed from the Constitution if it was not legal?
I'm not the higher court, sir, but all I do is follow the case law of the higher courts that have interpreted the Constitution. And they've indicated that your right to a trial by jury is tied to the fact that you might actually be incarcerated. And on this case, they're all infractions, so even if you were to be found guilty, there would be no jail time.
But that's actually not shut down by the judge again.
Well, that's actually not.
So I'm not arguing with you.
I'm not arguing with you either. I'm just
Okay,
trying
so
to
you can come
talk
sign a
to
promise to appear. I'll see you back January 10th for trial.
But it does say civil court.
It does say civil court.
This is not a civil court, this is a criminal proceeding.
Well,
So it's different, your right to a trial by jury in a civil proceeding is different than your right to a trial by jury in a criminal proceeding. This is a criminal proceeding, sir.
Do I have to sign this? This is where he's been given a court date, and they've obviously put it on the record and asked him to sign to say that he understands and will appear on that day.
Yes, it does not say that you're admitting guilt or anything of that nature. All it says is that you're promising to be here on the date of trial.
Am I required by law to sign this?
You're not required by law to sign it, but if you're not here on the date of trial, I will try you in your absence. So we'll just indicate that he refused to sign, and it already says warned on trial in absentia. So just be advised, sir, that if you're not here on that date, you have notice of the date, and if you're not here, we can go ahead and hold the trial without you. Any questions about that?
He talks here about previously submitting 7 or 8 motions.
Okay. No, I understand. I didn't find that you were trying to be disrespectful, but I just believe that your understanding of some of the aspects of the law is not correct. And if you think it is correct, you're more than welcome to file a brief, but you have to cite the actual law that supports your position.
about 7 or 8 motions.
Let me take a look what I have. Well, I saw a records request form, that's not a motion. And an audio request, that's not a motion.
There should have been a yellow, I submitted it.
Let me take a look at November 8th. Oh, motion, I do see that one motion, let me take a look.
About 8 motions on the one.
Okay, motion 1. Okay, so your first motion on double jeopardy to say that Judge Baxter has already ruled you not guilty? No, you entered a plea of not guilty.
I didn't enter something.
All right, sure.
If we look at
Well,
the-
if you refuse to enter a plea and he entered a plea of not guilty on your behalf, that doesn't mean he's adjudicated the case and found you not guilty. So I'll deny that motion. Motion number 2.
Can I speak on that motion?
No. Motion number 2, that the oath of office is on record. My oath of office is on record. You can check with the city recorder. I will deny it because my oath of office is in fact on record. If you want to see that oath of office, check with the city recorder. Lack of subject matter jurisdiction is your motion number 3. No, this court does have subject matter jurisdiction over all misdemeanors alleged to have occurred, all misdemeanors or infractions alleged to have occurred in Salt Lake City. This court does have jurisdiction.
That burden of proof is on her, not you.
I'm sorry?
That burden of proof is on her, not on you. So that's.
Subject matter, these are legal motions, so it's my job to rule on legal motions. You're right on the date of trial.
But she didn't.
Hey, you're filing legal motions, I'm ruling on them. You're right on the date of trial. If the city wants you to be convicted, it is their burden to prove each element of the offense beyond a reasonable doubt. But I'm dealing with legal motions you submitted to the court. It's my job to rule on your legal motions. So the court does have subject matter jurisdiction. This court has jurisdiction over all misdemeanor Bs, misdemeanor Cs, and infractions that are alleged to have occurred in the city of Salt Lake. And so I deny that motion because these are alleged to have occurred in the city of Salt Lake and they are infractions. As to the 4th motion, a conflict of interest lacking corpus delicti, I've already ruled on that and explained that your concern is that, in this case, the court, the prosecutor, and the executive are all employees of Salt Lake City, but that's the same of every court. The district, for instance, the attorney generals are employees of the state of Utah, state judges are employees of the state of Utah, UHP is the employees of the state of Utah, and I've already explained that each branch doesn't work in cooperation with each other so much as they act as a check and balance on the other. So the fact that they're all employed by the same entity does not mean they're working in concert with each other. Now the police and the prosecutor do because they're both part of the same branch, the executive branch of government. But the court does not. The court acts as a check and balance against the executive and legislative branch, and the legislative branch acts as a check and balance against the executive branch and the judicial branch, etc.
But this is the Salt Lake City Corporation. This is not the Salt Lake Government Corporation. It's not even on a website .gov, it's .com. It's a business entity.
But
So-
this is the Salt Lake City Corporation, this is not the Salt Lake City Government Corporation. It's not even on their website .gov, it's .com. That's a business entity.
Sir, that doesn't change my ruling.
Okay, that's okay when I note that as an appealable.
Okay, that's okay, can I note that as an appealable?
Once there's a final order of the court, the final order of the court will be either finding you not guilty or finding you guilty and sentencing you, one or the other. If you're found not guilty, that's the final of the court, order of the court. If you're found guilty and you're sentenced, that's the final order of the court. Once there's a final order of the court, at that time you have an absolute right to appeal, yes. Any other questions for me?
So like I say, it sounds like his friend was recording in secret from the public gallery. It's not very clear, so you will have to turn up your volume. He then issues a second video claiming Utah courtroom, dismiss right to travel, courtroom, win, part 2. I'm not going to play that. It's in the description below. Basically, the police officer on the first court date, his father was literally dying, and he went to spend time with his father before he died. The second time, he was going to be out of the country. The judge basically said, this is the second trial. He pipes up for a dismissal, and the judge actually agrees that, and the case is dismissed. So, Shane, you didn't win. The state lost. You were driving whilst your privileges were suspended. You had no insurance, and you didn't have registration. That's quite clear. Unfortunately, the state couldn't prove it, and they lost. You did not win. I've got a second video to come on this gentleman about his misinterpretation of the Utah codes. I'll get that out to you as soon as I can. Other than that, that's it. If you did like the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Share it around, and I will see you on the next one. G'day.